Hey everybody, Northwest Saws here. Got a real interesting saw on the bench today. What we're looking at is a Homelite 775D. D stands for direct drive. These were made in 1964. Short production run, I believe. This one had about 55 millimeter bore, a little bit more than that. Powerful saw, ran some pretty big bars. Some decent sized chain, 404, 7/16. And this one has been sitting for quite a while. It's in pretty rough shape. I do apologize for the condition on my bench. I got a lot of crap going all at the same time right now. Too many projects. I really did not need this one, but well, here it is. So, I'm going to show you a few things on the saw. And first, we'll start with the corrosion, oxidation, and all this pitting that we got here. Handle right here, and the filter cover and tank. They're looking kind of rough. Pretty filthy. I've already got the starter off. It's right here. Not in the best shape, but it works. Originally, when I brought this home, I thought it was seized up. I couldn't turn this thing over at all. Oh, shit. This is going to be great. I wonder what the hell we got going on in the motor, but ended up not being the rewind or the starter at all. I got it off, put a new rewind spring, in fact, in there. It works great. In fact, this ball drive works exactly like it should as well. So, I've got a little helping hand, a little screwdriver, a bar wrench, and I eventually got this thing to move. And after I got to move, it turned over just fine. Up until the point where you get it top dead center. And then, man, it's just like the most compression you've ever felt in your life. It's insane. You tried to start that, you'd rip your arm off, or the pull cord, or worse. You know, ripping your arm off, I think, could be the worst. Anyway, I got everything loosened up. And I got the nuts off the cylinder. I'm going to take that off and see what we find in there, because there's way too much compression going on in there. It should not be that hard to turn over. There's the muffler right here. This was actually held on by nothing but a nail going right down through here and through the bottom. There's this hole on top, and there's one on bottom here. It's supposed to be screwed in place, but they are stripped out. Looks like that was done quite a while ago. Boy. There we go. Yeah, you could see that. Not real pleasant. And probably not going to be... Oh, yeah, you could see the piston there. See the rings. And at first glance, it doesn't look too bad. Don't see any scoring, other than the fact that it is filthy in there. There's some nasty, nasty gunk. So, some further investigation is warranted. I got this all loosened up already. Oh, there we go. There's some of the original paint. You can start to see. I think I've got this enough out of the way. Anyway, I think I've loosened up this gas tank already. There's the intake. Got that loosened up. Briefly, I got to tell you, there's a nut that goes on right there. And let me tell you, I kind of hate Homelite for doing that. That was awful, trying to get that piece of crap off. Let's see if I still got it. I've got a special little end wrench that had to, it's kind of filthy, I apologize for that. 7/16 that I had to grind a little bit, make an indentation for it to fit in there, because bar oil reservoir, I had the handlebar off, and then that damn cylinder right in the way. So getting that thing off, just a joy. There we go. Hey, look at that. There's the original paint. There's the stuff on the outside. There's a pretty good difference. Oh man, look at all that stuff. Some years of cutting and use off of that bugger. I don't know where my flashlight went to, but in this tank, also I took a peek in there. You're not going to be able to see anything at all. I don't even know why I took that off. It's just a bunch of dirt, fine silt in there, and I'm not sure what else. There's something else, but I can't tell what the hell it is. Whew. Yeah, look at all that. This is a saw that has seen some use. I'm thinking commercially as well. This hasn't really ever gone anywhere out of the Pacific Northwest. There's some other original paint there. It actually looks pretty good. There's the manual oiler right there. It's not seized up. Intake with the on-off switch. There's a Tillotson carburetor. We'll end up getting a kit for that. And the cylinder. I've got all the nuts off, so we'll just get that off of there. Oh boy. Now, she's just not wanting to come off of there. There we go. Let's took a little bit of coercion. Yeah. Whew, man. There's a bunch of gunk just packed into the side here. But otherwise not too bad. I don't see any serious scoring. There's some wear down towards the bottom here, but I think we can clean that up. The roof of the cylinder looks surprisingly clean. It's not that bad, honestly. Ugh, that's a different story. Yeah, look at all that crud there on top. That's nasty. I don't see any pitting. Just looks like a bunch of accumulation of crap. And some good varnish buildup. Oh yeah, look at that. And look at all that crap in the crankcase too. I'm surprised that cylinder isn't in worse condition. There's something else interesting going on here. That bottom ring is free. But this top ring is stuck. Yeah, I can't hardly move that thing at all. The left side of this top ring I can get free, but the other side, I can't hardly get it to budge. That thing's stuck. And it kind of goes. I don't feel like breaking it, so we'll get to that after a while. Okay, so we've got some cleaning done here. We still got a little bit left, but you can probably see where the reed assembly went there, and where the tank would be resting against the oil reservoir. That actually looks pretty nice, and the paint on there is still in pretty good shape. Not as much down here, but it's not bad. Got the cylinder off, got the conrod off, got a little bit clean, but we got some more to do. We also got the flywheel off. You can inspect the points, all the wiring down in here, and I've gotten everything loosened up here. I got a little bit cleaned off. It needs some more done, but so far everything is looking pretty good. I gave the points just a quick wipe, and they're really not too bad at all. I'll clean them up a little bit more, but yeah, not bad at all. Most of the connections in here are looking pretty good, except this ground wire right here running from the coil to our handy dandy condenser is damaged. So we're gonna have to repair that, and while we're at it, we'll replace this condenser. You know, it looks fine, but there was quite a bit of gunk in here. This thing's been sitting for years. It was under conditions that probably had a little bit of moisture, you know, getting into this stuff, so we'll just replace it. It was cheap, you know, it's easy to do. So otherwise we'll clean the points here and we'll re-gap them, clean things up, and put the flywheel back on and continue. Okay, so got the piston cleaned up nicely. You can see the surface there. There's a few scratches, some staining, but not really anything in the way of pitting. So it's gonna work. Notice this varnish came off. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of wear, but doesn't look like anything excessive. We'll take a gauge and check the side clearance here and make sure it's not anything too sloppy. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that top ring out without it breaking. Tried to be gentle and as slow as I could, but it just wasn't having it. Fortunately, I did have a new old stock set of rings in for this. And so there they are, they're on there. We'll get the cylinder cleaned up and we'll get all this back together. We'll do a pressure and vacuum test and see what condition the seals are in, but judging from the rest of this saw, there's probably going to be quite a few things here that we're going to have to replace. Could end up doing a full overhaul. Speaking of which, all this gunk right here that you see came out of the fuel tank. It's old sealant and dirt caked in with some loose paint and other crap. I cleaned up all right. There's no cracks in here. There's no pitting at all. So that's very good. Get the other half there. There's the other half. So that's not bad. We'll get that sealed up. I think the worst part is this right here. This is the fuel inlet that goes in right here. And as I was trying to get this off, the bugger snapped right off. So I had to get an extractor to get this out. But I got it out eventually. And there are no... Oh God, that's bright. Can't even hardly see those threads. There we go. You can kind of see it there. They're in good shape. So let's see if we can't find another inlet for this thing. Alrighty. So at this point we've got a fair amount of cleaning done. We've checked the piston and cylinder, they're good. Checked the ignition, it's good. We checked the intake, it's good to go now. Had to take some sandpaper to a few of the surfaces on the reed and adapter piece, but they're good now. Carburetor's still a little leaky. We're gonna take some sandpaper to the surfaces of that as well. Shouldn't be a big deal though. Be able to take care of that. Clutch is still in fair shape. Might try to get a new spring for this if we can. Springs. But the rest of it's fair. There's a few nicks here, but not a big deal. However, putting the piston and cylinder back on and block off plates in order to do a pressure and vacuum test. This thing passed the pressure test, however, did not pass the vacuum test. I found the flywheel side seal to be not in the best shape. So, what we're going to do here is a full overhaul. Which, it might be kind of a pain to try to find some of these parts. I looked on eBay, and I can get the flywheel side seal and flywheel side bearing. But getting the other side, the clutch side bearing and sealing gasket, are another story. interesting with these 775Ds and some of the zip saws as well. They use a regular seal on the flywheel side. Let's see if I did anything with it. It might be around here somewhere. I'm not going to go looking for it. But it's just like any other seal, any other conventional seal that you've seen. However, the clutch side uses, I've still got it right here, it's a little sealing gasket. And here's the bearing, a ball bearing on here that goes on the end here, and you're going to see an issue as soon as I put this on. See how easily that went on there? Yeah, not supposed to do that. But it goes on right here. The sealing gasket rests between it and the crankcase, and then there's a little snap ring that goes in right here. You can kind of see see how shiny that is right here? It's not real good. We don't want that. There's a little bit of wear here. It's not too terribly excessive, but we'll try to get a hold of a new bearing and see if it does the same thing. If it does, then this crank is it's toast. We can't have that. But it doesn't look super terrible, but there is some shiny in several spots here. So we'll see what we could do. Getting a hold of this new sealing gasket and the bearing may be a little difficult, but we're going to try and get the new bearings and seals for this thing, and then get everything assembled and do another pressure and vacuum test. That should take care of it, and we could be looking at a running saw. But we'll save that for another video. This is already getting way too long as it is. I'm going to be looking over at about a gig worth of upload to do here. So stay tuned. It may take a little bit. We're going to try to get some parts for this and start reassembling, and hopefully you will see a running Homelite 775D. Thanks for watching and hanging in there.